You normally start the development of that an airplane way before you actually present it. But important for Pilatus is that if we go public, we actually meet what we say. So we were really proud that we said in 2013 it will be 2017, and we managed to do that, although it was early December.
Did you feel expectations for this PC-24?
Oh, absolutely. Huge expectations. Of course, before we started the project, we talked to a lot of customers and we tried to find out what do they want. We have, as you know, currently almost 1,600 PC-12s flying with different customers. So we approached them, we asked them what would you like, and in summary, they basically said, give us a PC-12, but about 100 knot faster. So that's why we tried to get as much as possible the DNA of a PC-12 with the two doors, with the flat door, and flat floor, with the large cabin in a new airplane, and that's the result is the PC-24, which is a little bit more than actually 100 knots. It's more than 425 knots fast, and exactly the same DNA, and of course a lot of people love it like that.
But isn't the market busy, not to say saturated, the market of light jets?
That's true, but we do not copy the competitors. We on purpose do something nobody else can do. Nobody has a freight door like that in a jet. Nobody has the whole concept of the PC-12 also being able to go into short runways and unpaved runways transferred into a PC-24, the jet-like. That's why we also call it the super versatile jet, because it is not like an other jet, it is its own class.
Yeah, you have a long story, more than 25 years with the PC-12. Who uses it?
Oh, it's a huge range. That's the beauty of that airplane. The original launch customer was the Flying Doctors in Australia, the Royal Flying Doctor Service Australia. They fly patients from the outback to the big towns to be served in the medical hospitals. We have, let's say, the large majority of customers are the typical businessmen who have their own, let's say, mid-size business, not the very small and not the very large, who actually can fly to their sites. They can fly closer to their sites because they can fly maybe even on a grass field or a short runway. So very typical American entrepreneur or a European entrepreneur who has to go, for example, to the Czech Republic. He is headquartered in maybe Germany, and there is no proper flight connection by airlines. That's the perfect tool to be faster, more efficient. And then, of course, you have police flying it as well, some other private customers. So it's a huge range, and that's the beauty of the airplane. Even if you use it as a tool, maybe you can fly it in the weekend and fly your surfboard, or we even flown some small cars in the airplane.
So tell us about the PC-24. Is it meant to replace the PC-12?
Not at all. It's, as it says already, it's another number. It's double number of the PC-12, and actually that's quite a good approach. It is another class of airplane. It's an addition to the PC-12. We always wanted to have a family of products in the general aviation side of the business. So the PC-24, sorry, is a very top-end jet. It is with the DNA of the PC-12, with the two doors, with the flat floor, with the spacious cabin, and also certain flexibility to change the interior of the PC-24. You can use it for multi-role operations. It's a very comfortable airplane. So it's really an additional class to the PC-12, and it's not a replacement.
So how are the orders going so far?
The orders are very well. However, we have to say, being a new product, we are very conscious of doing the job right of introducing the product. So
What does it mean?
it would be very, very easy to take hundreds of orders because everybody is excited about the airplane. But we, on purpose, when we took the first orders in 2014, we only took 84 orders, which is about 3 years of the first.
And you were aiming to sell 1,200 of them.
Or more. But we want to do it right because one important factor is actually the customer. The customer wants to buy an airplane which keeps its value. So by just selling a large number of airplanes immediately to a market which actually can consume it will generate a lot of speculation, and that's not in the interest of us and it's not in the interest of the customer. So we said, let's do the first 84 airplanes. We want to learn, of course, because it's a step up for us as well. And then when we see we do it right, we will open the order book again, which will be next year. And then we will sell the next batch of airplanes. So we can avoid that we have a lot of speculation in the program, which will then actually harm the other customers who actually want to have a proper airplane which is worth what they paid.
Do you have in mind the crisis and the market flooded with planes a few years ago, which led to a crisis in the field?
Absolutely. I mean, for those who have owned PC-12s know that we care for the customers. The PC-12 has a very, very good value retention track record, and that's exactly what we want to do with the PC-24 as well. So if somebody becomes, I always call it part of the family, because at the end you are linked with the OEM and with the support network, etc. When you own an airplane, then you know you are appreciated and you want to be served properly. And if you ever want to sell the airplane, it will have a good value.
The company Jetfly is the biggest customer in Europe, and they have a special way to use the planes, which is the plane sharing, this new trend. How important is that?
It's another market actually, but it's a very important market because it's in addition to having customers who actually own the whole airplane. Of course, it's always very important also there for the customer that he can keep the value in the airplane, but it's especially with the fractional ownership, it's the service of having a portion of the airplane, but then being served by the Jetfly organization with the pilots, with the whole service. So it's a full package, and it's a great addition for us to cover more of the potential in the market.
So what's the main goal? Get new customers or customers who actually can't afford a private jet?
Oh, you would have to ask Jetfly actually, but for us, of course, from experience, a typical fractional owner will very rarely convert into an owner of its own airplane and then its own operation. So it's really it's another way of using an airplane, because all you do is basically you buy with the full ownership of a fraction, you buy basically sort of like your membership in that fractional program, and then you are taking the service of Jetfly with the experienced pilot, with the, I think it's about 15 or 20 years old now, experience with the PC-12. They operate currently 22 PC-12s, so it's a vast experience in the home market for us in Europe. So it's a very good value also. So you don't have to care about hiring a pilot or things like that. You just ask Jetfly to do it and they do it.
You are the only plane manufacturer in Switzerland. Why?
Because there are not many plane manufacturers in the world, and if you want to build an airplane, I mean, let's face it, the industry is full of dreams, but the dream is the trigger. It's also great to actually make dreams happen, but it also means a lot of work. You have to be very serious, you have to want it, you have to invest a lot of money, you have to have very talented people who work on the long term with you, and Pilatus has that. For example, the core team of the PC-12 development team has also developed the PC-24. So about 20 years later, we still have the same engineers who understand what we do, and you don't have that very often in the world. So that's why in Switzerland we cannot duplicate, but we can also not duplicate in the world many times. I think that's the reason.